So we're back.
We're back and we're better. Boom.
Sort of. We're
Kinda.
still in our small mics.
Small mic era.
Era. As I said, small mic area. I was like, sure, it is in a small mic area.
But we still have our sign.
Yay. And we have a new addition.
Oh yeah, look, it's so cute.
So cute. It's being propped up by something right now. But I had ordered this. It's like a combination of both Mariza and I, and it says Besties Forever. And it has the year that we met. And
we're holding coffee.
And we are holding coffee because we love coffee. But I made it and bought it for her as a gift for her upcoming bachelorette trip. But when I got it in, I realized how cute it was. And I'm mad that I didn't get two. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to open it and we're going to put it in the podcast room.
It's for the podcast now.
Yes.
It's fine.
So, our newest edition.
Yay!
And we don't necessarily mean to be like pink vibes everywhere, but it's what works best and just so happened to be pink. So.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, because we're not pink girlies.
We're not. No, not at all.
You're green. That's why we had the green light before.
That's why and the green mics.
Yes, yep. But now this one looks really good in pink.
Well, it looks really good on the camera.
And we can change the colors.
Yeah. Actually, you know what?
Try it out.
Let's show you guys.
You know what? We'll just let y'all decide. Let us know what color you guys like. We'll put a poll.
There you go.
We'll put a poll, and then you guys just like let us know which one we should do for the next episode.
So here's our handy dandy remote that we can use to do this. You can like change it.
Blue.
Yeah. This is like white into green.
I can't stare at that for long.
I know.
Yeah.
There, and then now we're back to blue. And then you can even do like a blinking. Let me see, is it gonna do it? Yeah.
Oh,
the blinking one.
It's real light. Real bright.
Yeah, this would like throw my thinking off if I was doing this during the
and the one that changes colors.
Yeah.
There it goes. Yeah.
So it is a really cool sign. Worth the money for sure. But now I gotta figure out how to put it back because I didn't read directions.
Typical for us. It's okay.
I just was like, you know what, it's gonna work best. That one? I think it was that color.
Pink. Yes, it was pink. I don't know, my eyes are still adjusting. Okay.
But that's our remote. I'm gonna put it up so I don't lose it.
Yes. And
so my son doesn't play with it because he has like learned how to like turn it on and
all
the buttons, and last thing I need is for this sign to break.
It's the cutest when he comes, he's like, Mariza's here, it's podcast Monday. I'm like, yes, yes it is.
And then earlier I told him, we're gonna go upstairs so we can record the podcast. I know.
Yeah.
I saw Mariza's car in the driveway.
I was like, sorry, sir.
You're right.
So I just can't come here to be.
You can't just ever come to my house just to come. Sorry, we are now associated with the podcast to our 4-year-old.
It's fine.
But last week we talked about some heavy stories with toxic coaches and toxic environments that athletes have been in, including ourselves. Really not as heavy as the stories that we read, but we did get to hit on that. So today's topic, we're jumping into athletes that have turned coaches. And this can go either way, good, or it can go bad, and really tied back into how those toxic coaches maybe became toxic.
Yeah. Well, and I loved that one of our teammates, one of our listeners.
Oh, yeah, one of our teammates, yeah.
Shout out to y'all for leaving a comment. And somebody had talked about how does somebody playing at the higher level make a great coach?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's going to be one of the things we're going to talk about, where it kind of is determined. Does a great coach typically come from just having a good, well-rounded background and understanding of sports and learning and teaching? Or does it have to necessarily be somebody that's played at the next level or played at a higher level?
Yeah.
Because I've known some people that have, I've said it before, just because you can play doesn't mean that you can coach.
Yep.
And there's some people that have played at that higher level and their coaching style is just maybe not something I would agree with.
Yeah. I definitely saw it like coming out of high school. I saw where some of the worst coaches I've seen were actually some of the best players growing up that I played against. And I'm like, oop, what happened?
Well, welcome back to
Athlete Life Unfiltered.
If you don't know who I am, I'm CiCi.
And I'm Mariza.
And we're happy to have you guys with us today. So let's dive in. So, does playing at a higher level actually make you a better coach? Or are you just more confident? Yeah. What would you say?
I feel like there are two sides here.
Okay.
I think there's a little debate going Side one, high-level athletes should be better coaches.
Agreed.
Right? Side number two, playing and coaching are completely different, and they're different skills.
Absolutely.
So why or how can a high-level experience create a better coach? I think that really just has to do with who that person is, right? What experience they've had, because it can come down to, okay, this person understands the game better. They have a better IQ of what's going on and off the court, and they can translate that well into the play, right? As a coach into the next level of players. Whereas the other side of it, right, there's maybe that little disconnect.
Yeah.
So what do you think as far as like, where have you seen or your thoughts on being a high level athlete and being able to coach well?
Well, I mean, I agree completely. Like, you really do have to understand the game, whatever sport it is. You have to really understand the game. And it starts by being an athlete understanding, not just an athlete that has such a strong skill in whatever that sport is, but an athlete in an understanding. That way you can break down things, like you said, the skill, the part of coaching that is not just, hey, go here, go here, go here. It's more technical, down to how your body placement is, how your arm is, how your shoulder is, how your feet are, how fast you're going, how slow you're going. All those little breakdowns and everything else in between, you have to really understand that. If you're just great and somebody says, well, like, how do you break that down? And you're like, I don't know, I've always just done it like this, right? That's not coaching or teaching. Like, you can have a great teacher and you can have a person that's in a teaching role who's like, I just know this subject because I've been good at this subject. You really have to have somebody that knows how to teach and explain and do that, in my opinion, to be a good coach. I have had athletes that I've played with that have went D1. She tried coaching and it was just like, girls were looking at her like so confused, and like, she's tall, she has like a body built like a volleyball player, and like played T1 volleyball, great athlete. But girls, like, every time she would talk, they'd just be like, what are you saying?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
How can you break this down? I'm not getting it. Yeah.
And then I've also had people that have been in coaching roles that have never played before. And I'm like, how did you get hired to begin with? But at the same time, I don't know if I would rather have somebody who has played a higher level that doesn't know how to break it down, or somebody that's trying to break it down that has never played at a higher level. Because I don't know if necessarily the higher level makes them a better coach. But like you said, it does help. You would hope, I guess, help them have a better understanding of the game.
I think it kind of ties into, as far as like being a good athlete and then being a good coach, right? I feel like it gives them a source of like a credibility, right? Like your players are now looking up to you like, dang, she played at a higher level. Like, oh my God, this guy has a collegiate like record holder. You know what I mean? Like, so it kind of builds on the buy-in, right? And so then you're like, whatever you say, I'm gonna listen to you. But then that coach also has had this experience, has seen it, and especially if they weren't always the best player, right? And they were taught well. So then they know the fundamentals of things to be able to critique that for their players. Yeah. Right? Because you could be just like a natural born athlete and you were never like corrected on things. Like me, on example, right?
You're a natural born athlete and you're never corrected?
No.
I believe that.
No, I was corrected a lot. And so I feel like and this is just where I know my flaws as a coach, and I'm like, okay, I can coach hitters and blockers because that's what I was critiqued on. So I know the techniques to help somebody become a better blocker or hitter. Yeah. Now, give me a setter. I'm like, girl, just put your hands up there. I don't know. Make that little triangle.
Put your hands up and maybe the ball will go perfect.
In high school, I did high jump, right? My coach, at first, I was the only girl high jumper. So he like sat there and like critiqued me and gave me pointers. And so he was like, fix this foot, do this, arch your back, all the things. Yeah. So then by the time I was a senior in high school, that coach had now gone off and I was in charge of teaching the freshmen and sophomores how to do high jump, which I could do because I was like, okay, I know how to break it down. Right. And now I know how to coach it. So I feel like that kind of plays into, okay, how well of an athlete are you, like experience wise, level wise, what have you seen, what have you not seen, to be able to critique that and teach, versus just being a well rounded athlete and you were never really taught something specifically, and then it'd be hard for you to translate that later.
Well, and this kind of goes back to some stuff that we have talked about prior, where you have to, in order to be called an athlete, not just specialize in like a volleyball player, a football player, you're an athlete. An athlete can really go in and do multiple things and still somewhat dominate because they understand what's happening and they can easily do it better, rather than somebody who's just a volleyball player go and try to play basketball. And then they're like, well, I look like I have 2 left feet. Well, I shout out to my mom all the time, but I have been very fortunate. And like, toot my mom's horn, my mom was a triathlete in college.
Yeah.
Just because she worked hard. She played basketball, she ran track, she played volleyball, all in at the collegiate level. So she's had all sorts of higher up level coaching. Yeah. She didn't come from a background of her parents knowing anything about sports or whatever. It was just kind of like, I'm teaching myself. She went to a small school, a 1A, and just, she was a tall girl. So I'm sure she dominated at a small school. And nowadays, when you look at it, it's like some girls are like, I can never play at a higher level. Well, my mom's the proven fact of like, you just got to work harder at it. Yeah. So she's been that person that like that sponge that absorbs everything that people are giving her and learned how to apply it everywhere else.
Yeah. And she's been a coach. She's been a head coach. She's been an assistant coach. Yep. She ran her own club. Right. She's obviously has shown, yes, a great player can be a great coach.
Right. Yeah. But it took a lot of work. And I think that's why the way she built me up is the same style of coaching of, I want you to understand the game, no matter what position you play, so that when you go in, you're going to know what to do, point blank, period. So her way of coaching, and I've said it before, is like, she's broken down things, even correlating in other sports. In softball, do you throw a ball like that? In baseball, do you throw a ball like that? And other kids are like, well, no. Like, well, why are you doing a volleyball like that? Why are you moving your shoulder like that? Yeah. It's the same kind of movement. Same thing for basketball. When you're hitting, you still have to like flick your wrist. Same thing with volleyball. When you're hitting, you have to flick your wrist. So like, there's small breakdowns, whereas somebody who was just told to swing harder or swing faster, if that's what they're constantly being told, how are they going to be able to teach that? Yeah. But the reality of it all, I don't know the full statistics. I'm sure I can look it up. The full statistics on it. I'm sure there's a high percentage of collegiate athletes that go straight into the coaching role. Yeah. And nowadays, since club is such a huge thing, club volleyball, club basketball, club football, and even track, because we have a friend that coaches track, club track. They all go into a coaching role at some point.
Because it's easy. Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I played it. Yeah.
It's easy money. If you on your resume have, I was a collegiate athlete. Right. They're like, oh, you're going to be perfect. You fit in. You hit the criteria, right? You can coach this middle school basketball team. And it's like, maybe not.
Maybe not.
But yeah, I was going to say, because I was talking to you about this the other day, my club coach in high school, one of my club coaches in high school, I've had 2 separate. So one played D1 T Brownsville. She was Brazilian. So she was up there, credentialed. I was like, oh my God. Praise you. Quick side note.
All Brazilians are all volleyball gods.
Okay, so one of them, I was blocking against her one time, and she was swinging at it, and she dislocated both my shoulders. It was great. Side note. Back to our
broke on 5 of my fingers. Loved it every moment of it.
It's fine. We're working through it. But so I've had that experience, but then I've also had my male volleyball coach, where for my junior senior year, he did not play volleyball. He owned a warehouse and he coached athletes, and he did football, basketball, track, volleyball, any sport, you name it. He was one-on-one with athletes. Yeah. And then specialize in some of your sports. And so he was our club volleyball coach, and we would do one-on-one drills there, get better as an athlete, and then we would do volleyball club practice. And homeboy was so locked in. He hadn't played, but he was so locked in, and he knew the ins and outs, knew how to make your swing better, how to increase your vertical, how to pass the ball better. Yeah. never played volleyball on that type of level, but he knew how to coach it. And that's how he got all of his club team to go on the collegiate level. Yeah.
Well, not even just that. I mean, y'all made it to nationals your senior year. Yeah. Like, he was able to push y'all enough to mesh together very well, and it worked out for y'all. I, unfortunately, was in high school my junior year, I think. Was the first time I realized that not every great player can coach, because at the club that I was playing with, I was watching this guy who was a coach playing, and I'm like, man, he was a tall dude, and I was like, he plays great. And then he became my coach. Thankfully, me and a couple other girls that I played with in high school were on that same team, and my mom was our coach. We kind of already knew how to run the court. Just the three of us kind of already knew how to run the court. So it wasn't as difficult to break down the game, because I already knew it at that point. I was a junior. But just the stuff that he would say of breaking things down, and it'd be like, no, but thank you for saying that. But not to be rude, I didn't tell him that. But not to be rude, I'm not going to listen to you. Yeah. Just because, like, that's wrong. Yeah. Or he wouldn't say anything in the moment of like, we're not doing good, we're not doing well. This is a coaching moment that you need to have, and he wouldn't do it. And so it'd be like, this is tough. I didn't know that, because when I watch you play, you know what you're doing. But I mean, this goes back to parents that have probably played volleyball who think that they can coach because they were great volleyball players. Yeah. It's the same type of thing, where it's like, oh, I've seen you play volleyball a long time ago. You're great. Maybe you can come coach. And then you see them coach, and it's like,
watch football on the TV. I could coach this.
But that all goes back to, like, does playing at a higher level make you a better coach? My opinion, no. I think being a better coach, and it's not like you have to go to college. Teachers have to become teachers. They have to have a degree, right? It's not like you have to have a degree in coaching. I don't have a degree in coaching, but I have a lot of athletes that have enjoyed your style of coaching. Every athlete is different. Every athlete has their style of coaching that they like better, that they don't like. Now, I will say this, though. What will make you a better coach is also what makes you a better teammate. Well, when we go back down, what makes you a better teammate into becoming a better coach, understanding those around you. To be a great coach, you really have to understand. Same thing with teaching. Everybody's learning level and learning ability is different. My mom, all day long, kills me to this day. For 28 years, she's been like this. Writes stuff down, says this, explains it to me verbally on the phone, blah, 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 blah. And I'm still looking at her like a deer in a headlight. You have to show me.
Yeah, I'm like, you have
to show me what you want. Because I can look at it all day long. I'm a visual learner. There's other people that were on my team that would be like, why do you need her to show us? I already know what to do. And I'm like, how did you get any? How did you get from A to B?
From the word?
I went from A to C, and I don't even know where B is. So I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah. I used to drive my mom nuts, but I'm like, that's just my style of learning.
Yeah. And there's so many styles of learning. There's like the tactile, there's visual, audio. Yes. Yeah.
And I've had so many athletes in just volleyball alone that I have coached. And I have explained this to them, and I'm like, everybody's different. I can say one thing, and I'll ask the whole group to understand. I'm like, speak now, forever hold your peace. Yeah. And I even have a 13-year-old who freaking love her to death, like, great athlete. This is everything out the freaking wahoo. If I could write a book about volleyball and hand it to her, like, she'd be that person to be like, okay, I understand now because I read it. I would be like, I'd explain it. I'm like talking really fast. And I'm like, all right, cool. Everybody know? I'm like, speak now, forever hold your peace. She'd be the only one to raise her hand. And I'm like, I know it's coming. I'm not mad about it, though. Yeah. I'd rather you ask questions, because 95% of the times, if you're asking a question, I'm sure somebody else is asking. Is more like, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to be in the back of the line so I can see what's happening. So that when I go up there, I know what to do. Where she's just like, I want to know before I even get into this role.
That's good.
So, I mean, you have to, to make you a good coach, you have to understand different styles of learning. That doesn't necessarily come from that collegiate level, that higher up level, the Olympic level. We had a coach in college. Love him to death. I don't think I remember a single thing coaching wise come out of his mouth, but he's a great volleyball player.
But you can hit the
I hit it to me because I feel good when I dig it. Like that is the only thing I really remember.
Yeah, but I don't really remember him being like, hey, you need to fix your feet here.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Or, hey, your platform outside your body.
But he was a great hype man.
Hey, great hype man, great person to go to.
Yep.
If I had to have him on my coaching staff, I probably would.
Yeah.
Because it was just that easy. But you know what's crazy? You brought up a point earlier. I have played all positions, and this is strictly for volleyball. I have played all positions, and I went to college to be a libero. Coaching DSs is probably the hardest thing for me to do out of all.
Yeah.
Like, if you break volleyball down into 3 things: setting, passing, hitting. Passing is probably one of the hardest things for me to break down and coach, because it's probably one of the hardest things for girls to understand how to do it correctly or listen and apply. Hitting wise, everybody loves hitting.
Yeah.
Setting, everyone wants to be a setter.
Yeah.
And so like coaching that is just like great. Same thing with if I had to coach softball. I could coach softball. I could coach softball on hitting, and I can coach softball on infield and outfield. Yeah. I could not coach softball on pitching correctly or being a catcher. Yeah. Because I've never caught. I've never been a catcher. I've pitched a singular moment in a singular game. Not a game. I pitched in a singular moment. I could probably pitch baseball better than I can pitch softball. But yeah, I pitched in a singular moment, and my coach was like, "You're done. Get the heck out of here. You're done." Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's why I like being a physical therapist, is because we have to technically be a coach. Yeah. When we're getting into the return to sports stuff. Oh. So right now I have a kiddo who he wants to go try out for football, go collegiate. Yeah. And it was his senior year and he had an injury, right? I'm like, hey, we're going to do things to get you faster, acceleration, deceleration drills, quick feet drills. And I'm like pulling football drills out of everywhere. And, ooh, put me in, coach. I can play football. Right? But like, obviously I can't play football. But obviously I'm not going to be a football coach, but I can give you things that are going to make you a better football player.
Well, like your club coach. He didn't probably play volleyball, but he was able to coach y'all up to where y'all understood and y'all were able to apply it.
And breaking it down to the fundamentals. I feel like that, like you said, creates a good coach. Anybody can be a coach.
Yes.
As long as you are good at communication, are able to understand the sport, and can break it down, not only for you, but break it down to the different types of learners.
Yes.
I think that's a big key.
Yeah. And there's, it's so crazy. Coaching is so crazy. I mean, and like we said, every athlete is different. Some athletes are better at applying it in game-like situations. Some athletes are better applying it in one-on-ones. And then those certain type of athletes that become those collegiate players or even coaches, when they become coaches, their breakdown method is a lot different. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're right or wrong or bad at it. It's just like, oh, well, in a game, I can be on point. I'm on point. And then there's some that turn around and they're like, I'm on point in practices, but in a game, I don't really know what to say in those moments, because it's like maybe too fast paced, too much going on. There's a lot of things that are like happening. And I mean, there's a lot of times where I'm like, man, like their coaching style is not like mine. And I got to realize that everybody coaches differently. And like the girls seem to be receptive when they're coaching versus when I'm coaching, they're uptight, or when my mom comes around, they're uptight because of our style of coaching. But at the same time, I'm like, I need a little bit more out of games where it's like in the moment, you have to be able to learn and teach yourselves in the moment type of situations, because that's when girls are going to probably be applying it a lot more. Same thing with guys. Football is one of those sports that I'm like, dude, y'all are lucky. Y'all got like 20 coaches on the sideline.
The positional coaches, but yeah.
There's not that in volleyball. There's not that in volleyball. Unless you're like a big D1 school where you've got several coaches to choose from. Yeah. You don't have that in volleyball. I have girls that will ask me, and thank God I had an assistant coach this year, and she was amazing. But like I had girls that would be like, Coach, were my hands up for the blocking time? And I'm like,
I wasn't watching you.
No clue. I was watching her back there. I don't know. I was watching where the ball went. Yeah. Sorry. I will look at you next time. Yeah. Hopefully you do the same way.
That's what I would do for you when I was your assistant last year. Yeah. And I watched the front row, and I'd be like, hey, homegirl, you need to get to your block. You're leaving a split. You got to get there faster. Like, pump your arms, get there and penetrate. Like, this is how you fix it.
Yes.
So
now I will say though, I played at all levels. I played at a collegiate level. Do you think that depending on the level that kids play that become coaches, does that matter whether they go JUCO, whether they go a D1, D2, D3, NAIA? Do you think that determines whether they're a better coach, or the level doesn't really matter. The coaching all comes down from maybe how they were as an athlete.
I don't think the level really matters, but I think that depending on the level you go to may dictate the type of level of experience of coaching you'll get.
Okay.
That you can play off of. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like, let's say, like, not bashing a JUCO, but let's say they have a lower level coach teaching here or coaching here versus a D1, D2 is going to have a higher level coaching experience, right? And so like, if I were to go to either one, I can pick and choose the things that I would learn differently from each coach, but are like, depending on how their coaching style is, would depend on that. But, and maybe just better coaches is where the money's at, maybe. But I think it all depends on how you were coached and what you take from that.
Yeah.
And then how you portray it. Yeah.
Well, and it's crazy to me because, and this has been a statistics that I have seen like in the NCAA, is like a lot of the coaches that go to the Final Four even in women's sports are male coaches. And it's like, how is that fair when majority of the time female coaches are the ones that have been experienced in the same type of level of play? That goes back down, in my opinion, to a respect level. Sometimes I feel like, and I've talked about this with before, when he steps into coaching, girls sometimes will listen to a male that's coming in and talking about certain things, whether they are right or wrong, just because of the difference.
The dominance of the tone. Yeah.
Whereas some successful boy volleyball programs, and I'm going to speak on volleyball, but some successful boy volleyball programs have been coached by women. Crazy how that is a statistics in itself. But you said something earlier that made me think about something, and I'm blanking on what it is, and it popped up twice, but it'll come back.
Well, and that brings me back to a high school here in local. Last year, it was boys soccer. They had a female coach, and they wouldn't listen to her. They would disrespect her. They would mock her and mimic her on the bench. And this year they changed of staff and they had a male coach and they were a little bit more well behaved. And so it's just kind of like,
maybe that depends on the sport.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I feel like when women go into like being referees for football, everybody's like, oh, what is she doing here? She doesn't know anything about football.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just like, why do we have to be like have that same type of sexist? But at the same time, I probably would think the same thing of like, does that mean that she doesn't know about football? No, absolutely not. No. She knows football. I have one of my good friends who, God, lady, she could talk about football and basketball all day long and say terms that I'm like, dude, you're speaking a whole foreign language and I have no idea. And I'm just like, how do you, and she can like break down football and basketball, like men's basketball, just to the specific details. And I'm like, how do you understand that? Like my brain is wired so differently.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's so cool to like see that other people can understand some sports that I've had such a difficult time. Football is one of those like, write it out and you could see the whole play. And I'm over here like, what's happening? There's too many people on the field.
Where am I running?
Yeah. Where do I need to go? Who do I need to catch the ball? Do I need to tackle somebody? Like, what's happening? Am I on the tackling team or am I on the catching team? No, I'm just joking.
Don't put her in.
I mean, it'd be the same in soccer. It'd be like, where do I need to run?
So lost.
Just
in
put
soccer.
2 colored cones and I just need to run and look for a ball every now and
Did I
again.
ever tell you my soccer experience? I don't know if I told y'all.
You played soccer?
I played soccer when I was 7. It was like the little like pee-wee soccer that like your parents put you in. So my mom put me in when I was 7. And I hate running. You know this. Everybody knows this. It's not a secret. So they put me as the goalie. And my team was so good. They kept the ball on the other side. And as the goalie, I just sat there and just picked flowers.
Love that.
That was my soccer experience.
You should have kept it up. You would have been a great soccer player.
Maybe. I got long limbs.
I know.
Be a good goalie.
You probably, I mean, honestly, they projected something really well.
Yeah.
You probably could have been a great goalie.
Could have been.
I would
Maybe
not
my past life.
I've seen some bruises on some soccer players that I'm
It's
like,
crazy.
I don't want no balls flying.
Yeah. No, they have great legs. Like, I wish, but no.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want no balls flying at me that I have to defend.
Yeah, that was my soccer career there. 7 years old, picking flowers. Yeah.
I love that for you.
That was it.
It was never a thing where I had lived. And so my parents were like, nah, you're good on volleyball and softball. I did do T-ball since I was 4. So.
Yeah, nice.
Which I was. I had my first black eye from then. Yeah.
Black eye?
Yeah, I went up to catch a ball and it completely missed my glove.
Oh, oops.
in my eye.
It happens.
It happened.
Nice.
I wish I would have remembered what I was going to say because it felt like a good point in that time. But I will say this though. We have had some people that we played with that I'm like, man, I hope you never become a coach that have become coaches. Just because I'm like, you're so mean. I can't even imagine.
I was about to say because they're not nice.
Yes. Like you're so mean that I can't even imagine. And this kind of leads into what we talked about last week of like toxic coaches. But like, I can't imagine them being positive coaches.
Yeah.
In positive environment.
Yeah.
To be like,
and then we're back in the cycle of toxic coaches.
Yes. But I will say though, and I've said it as an athlete, but even as a coach, you are never too old to start learning because I have coaches that I have hired for club that are just like hungry to learn more about the game to become better coaches for each player. I love that. I love that because I'm like, I've said it before, I want to attend coaches clinics so I can be a better
I was going to
coach.
say there's coaches clinics all the time. And it doesn't also have to be coaching because like my aunt and uncle, they are soccer referees.
Yes.
That's so cool. Like they're older in age, but they're out there keeping up with them youngsters. It's so cool. Like you can become a referee, understand the game, like played, coached, and then now you're refereeing or like continuing with the sport. Yep. And then I think that's so cool because it translates and it's just becoming a lifelong athlete.
Right. And that, I mean, that all builds even for some people that I have talked to parents that were like, man, I never had the opportunity to actually play, but I understood the game and I refed or I've done all this stuff. And just because I haven't played, I've been able to understand and teach my kids so that they can learn whether they're doing stuff right or wrong. And I'm like, I love that. Yeah. Because you're eager to get better. Even as parents.
We're not saying if you've never played the sport, you're going to be a horrible coach. Not saying that at all.
No.
But if like again, my cousin, her daughter, I think is 8 or 9. 8, I think. And she's now become her soccer coach and like had to take all the coaches courses and all of that. And I'm like, I love that because you are investing in something that your child is interested in.
Yes.
And so like, I think we would agree as far as immerse yourself in the sport, understand the sport, and then find ways that you can help.
I know what I was going to say. It popped back up into my mind.
Find ways that could help just make your kid better. And I think that's awesome that you're trying to immerse yourself into the sport.
Yeah. So what I was going to say, so I finally remembered. It's crazy to me because the name or the division will always win. Rather a good coach or not.
Yeah.
Because you could have Mariza Cardenas, D1 UT coach. And everybody's like, "Oh, I'm signing up for her clinic because it's her and that
UTD1
the UTD1 behind it, even the D1, not even UT or just UT alone behind it is just like, oh, she knows what she's doing."
Yeah.
And then you can come in and people will be like, "Well, that was wasting money. I didn't know what I felt about it," but they didn't want to go to somebody who was probably a successful JUCO coach because they're like, "Oh, that's a JUCO coach. Like, I don't really know, what they're doing," or even somebody not saying I'm a great, phenomenal person or all that. But if I were to run a camp, I'm invested in the athlete. But it's like, okay, how do I get people to maybe trust that process? Unless they have been coached by me in the past. And like taking that chance on somebody who's going to be like, oh, we're hands-on type of play. Again, this all goes back to how does the athlete want to be taught and learned and coached? But it's just crazy because if you were to put 2 and 2 beside each other, like we could talk about a good club coach that works for a club team that isn't maybe as high ranked as like everybody knows Mad Frog. They just followed us, so thank you. Shout out to y'all. But Mad Frog Club, amazing athletes. I would assume amazing coaches. You put them coming in, and then you put me. They're gonna be like, no, they want to go to their camp, right? Yeah. Just because they know the name behind it, and so. Whether that means they're a great coach or not has nothing to do with it. The name will always win. The division will always probably win.
I think that's just kind of plays into people's their ignorance of the sport. You know what I mean? If I'm a player and I only hear the good, the big names, this, and this, all the hype on it, I'm gonna buy into this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I
or
think
like
that's
if you were to
nature.
become a coach and on your resume it'd be like, oh, because you played at UT. You'd be like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
You played at UT.
Oh,
and then you start playing and you're like,
rode the bench. No,
I know.
You never know. You never know.
No.
Check the credentials. Okay?
Or watch film. No,
Yeah.
it's okay. But the play of you, like you being able to play does not necessarily mean that you can come in and
coach.
Yeah. But if you got hired on as at a club, and I'm speaking strictly club because for schools it's a little bit different since they have to have a degree, a credential behind them, not just whether they've played or not.
Well, in high school, I feel like some high schools don't have enough coaches, right? And so they kind of just have to, hey, you're the science teacher. Yeah, you're also going to teach basketball, or you're going to be the coach basketball. Yeah. Right. And they may have never coached anything in their life, right? So I'm like, there's some situations where you're put into it, they throw it in there. But hey, sometimes that coach can lead them all the way up to state,
Not in my story. My senior year, we hired a coach for varsity because my mom decided to just be a mom and not coach anymore and just be a principal. But we hired
she's mad.
Still mad, and that's been over
a little salty.
Over 11 years. We hired a coach that had never coached varsity volleyball. I don't even think she's coached high school volleyball. She's coached middle school to become a varsity coach. And it was just like, first of all, what? And then her style of coaching, it was like eating me alive. I was scratching, clawing at myself. I was mad because I was that kid that I wanted to be pushed because I knew I wanted to go to the next level. So it was just like, what is happening?
Yeah, like you're not helping me.
Yeah. So it was very rough. But I don't even think she's ever played before. So like, if I had to look at certain people, it'd be like, does a higher level matter? Maybe in that situation, yes.
Have you ever?
It would help.
Have you ever played the volleyball? Do you know the shape of a volleyball?
Yeah, do you know the shape? Is it the one that has pointy edges at the end?
Yeah, is it as big?
Is it badminton? Is it a birdie?
Are you athletic?
Can you pepper with me?
Jumping jacks.
Are you coordinated? Do you know the approach?
Oh,
because if you don't know the approach, you're not hired. That would be me, and like if I was on a hired.
Yeah, go show me how you play. That you're in.
Yeah, but I would love to hear from our teammates out there that if you've ever experienced it for yourself, or even in your honest opinion, does playing at the higher level mean that you are a great coach, or does it really not matter? And like being a great coach is just kind of how you were raised and how you were taught growing up in the sport, or even how you watched and soaked in everybody else's coaching style and techniques and moments and saw what fit best for certain people and applied it to the program that you're running. I'd love to hear from you guys.
And for our teammate who posted the comment, I hope we answered your question.
All over the place,
but that's just kind of how we are. But yeah, I think that's just kind of our 2 cents on that. And again, I'd love to hear more.
Well, please leave more comments for us because we do read them and we would love to interact with you guys, and we love hearing from y'all. As much as there's so much going around and we have so much to share, we'd love to hear from you guys because we love to see other people's perspectives and other people's viewpoints on everything. But as you know what to do, comment, like, subscribe with Athlete Life Unfiltered, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.